Hi, in this video discussion, you learn sparkling wine production process, the main learning outcomes, what are the different terms involving in the sparkling wine production process, and outline the sparkling wine production technology. Sparkling wine, it is also called as a champagne wine. It is original from the Champagne region of the France. You can see when we open the sparkling wine bottle, they are spark the internal wine because it's containing more carbon dioxide in this wine, in which the secondary fermentation process, whatever the carbon dioxide is formation, this carbon dioxide is internally compressed during the fermentation process, and this dissolved carbon dioxide providing the sparkling to the wine. Due to the providing bubblings when we open the bottles, and it's providing the taste like the carbonated beverages. That means it's fizzy. You can see in this photo the sparkling wine. It's containing excess of carbon dioxide. That means the bubbles of the carbon dioxides which providing the specific mouth feeling, and it's also containing more alcohol than the table wine. The amount of carbon dioxide and the internal alcohol containing of that sparkling wine is related to the amount of sugar added before the secondary fermentation process. If the excess of the sugar is added, we get the more carbon dioxide and the more alcohol percentage in the sparkling wine. The sparkling wine may be in white or maybe rose, maybe sweet and dry. The specific in which addition of the sugar content as per the our requirement. As per the sugar addition, they are different in categories. They may be fully sparkling wine in which the wine containing the pressure that is the more than 3.5 atmospheric mean pressure, and in the semi-sparkling wine it means containing 1 to 2.5 atmospheric pressure. These are the types of the sparkling wines. During the production process of the sparkling wine involving main two stages, that means first production of the base wine or also called as a table wine. That means the simply whatever the grapes is converted into the basic wine, and after that this base wine is added with the sugar and the yeast, and again the secondary fermentation is carried out into the production process of the sparkling wine involving two methods. In the first method, that is the recent method, is called as a bulk or tank or Charmant method, in which the fermentation is carried out under the pressure vessel. That means secondary fermentation is carried out under the pressure vessels. And the traditional process as in which this is called as a champagne process, in which secondary fermentation is carried out under the bottles, which is the original method of the production of the sparkling wine, and the bulk and the tank and the Charmant method are the recent method in which the secondary fermentation is carried out under the pressure vessels. As per the Food Safety Standard of India, the sparkling wine, that means it's containing minimum carbon dioxide percentage, that is the 7 gram per liter or the 3.5 bar atmospheric pressure required at 20 degrees Celsius, in which the uh, as per the its containing sugar percentage, they are classified into the groups in which the extra dry, dry, semi dry, sweet, in which the sugar percentage in the range of 1.2% to maximum 5% added during the manufacturing process, and as per their addition of the sugar content they are declared on the label. First, production process of the champagne wine. In the champagne wine production process involving two steps. First, the preparation of the base wine, in which the crushed grape juice and addition of the yeast and the controlled fermentation is carried out under the anaerobic fermentation. The similar method of the white wine production or the similar method of the red rose wine production process, these are all processing steps are involving in the production process of the base wine. In the base wine production process, whatever the base wine which is the produced, after that they are filtered, and they are directly taken into the mixing tank. In this mixing tank, it's base wine containing at least 10 to 12% alcohol percentage, which is then taken into the mixing tank, then added with the excess of external sugar, and the yeast is again added and they are properly mixed. After mixing, the wine is transferred into the bottles and bottle filling and the corking process is carried out. That means properly filling and the sealing of the. After the filling and sealing of the bottles, they are stored into the secondary fermentation process, in which the bottles are loaded into the racks in a horizontal positions. Fermentation process and the aging process is carried out to inside of that bottles, in which the basic time is 1 year to maximum 5 year fermentation and the aging process in inside of the bottles. During the aging process and fermentation process, whatever the excess of the sugar is added, the sugar is converted to the ethyl alcohol and the carbon dioxide, which is the carbon dioxide is retained inside of that bottle in the dissolved form, and whatever the sediment particles, that means the yeast and remaining other sediment particles, they are gradually settled at the base of the bottles. You can see this is the sediment particles. This is called as a lees, and this sediment particles we should require to remove, and this process is carried out in the riddling process. In the riddling aging process, the riddling process is carried out. The riddling process in which the step by step, you can see in this photo the initial stage, and after that specific time they are transferred into the in the next position. The angle of the position is changed with respect to the time, and finally whatever the bottles in horizontal position which convert into the vertical positions. In between them, whatever the sediment particles, these are all sediment particles, they are collect at the near the neck of the bottles, and this collected sediment particles is removed by passing the bottles into the refrigeration bath. That means bottles initially in horizontal position, during the riddling process they are converted into the vertical positions, and after that these bottles are passed into the refrigeration bath, in which the refrigeration bath initially bottles are pre-cooled to 7 degrees Celsius and then passed into the only the bottle neck and the some part of the sediment particles which are the immersed into the freezing solution, and bottles are moved from this position, and resulting whatever the sediment particles, these are the sediment particles, they are completely frozen and the ice plug is formation, and this ice plug and the small quantity of the whatever the wine which containing the sediment particles, they are removed by the removing of the plug, in which bottles are opened due to the internal pressure, resulting whatever the sediment particles they are plug is come out, and after that the whatever the headspace is remaining by removing of this sediment particles, which is the charged with the addition of the sugar syrup as per our requirement. That means as per our this sweetness requirement, addition of the excess of the sugar syrup. The sugar syrup, means the strength of the syrup is as per our the final sweetness requirement. The this process is called as the addition of the syrup, and the also called as the dosing process. And finally, after the addition of the sugar syrup, they are again properly filled and sealed is carried out. And next, after that, the leveling process, then packaging to the secondary packaging system. The basic terms in the sparkling wine production process: first, lees. Lees, that means the dead yeast cells. During the aging process, whatever the dead yeast cells, they are the sediment at the bottom, and this is called as a lees. Aging, that means the maturation of the wine in inside of the bottles required for 1 to 5 years. Then riddling process. Riddling process, that means involving gradually shifting the bottle position from the near the horizontal and ending up near the verticals. That means the bottles are gradually shifted in which whatever the sediment particles, which sediment particles are collected to the near the neck of that bottles is called as a riddling process. The next, that is the autolysis. Autolysis, that means during the aging process, whatever the dead yeast cell, in which the yeast cells containing the inside component, which are the components are released from the dead cells by the autolysis, that means hydrolysis process, and this compound are released from the inside to outside and providing the specific flavor to the wine is called as a autolysis. Then disgorgement, that means whatever the dead yeast cells, these are the removed by passing the bottle neck in the frozen liquid to form the ice plug, and this sediment is removed, and after the addition of the dosing by the sugar syrup and the corking process is called as a disgorgement. These are the basic terms in champagne wine production process. The second one is the bulk or the tank or charmant wine production process. The sparkling wine is produced in the bulk or in the tank, that is the pressure vessels is used for the secondary fermentation process. In the production process, first involving first preparation of the base wine, this base wine is taken into the mixing tank in which the addition of the sugar and the yeast. Sugar syrup or the sugar is directly added as per the requirement of the final alcohol percentage and the carbon dioxide requirement, in which properly mixing of the sugar yeast and the base wine, and they transfer into the secondary fermentation process into the pressure vessels, that is retort type vessel, in which the secondary fermentation is carried out by the control in the temperature, in which the temperature required for 14 to 18 degrees Celsius for at least 20 days for the properly secondary fermentation process. After the fermentation, the aging process is carried out on the same vessel under the pressure, in which the formation of the whatever the sugar is converted to the ethyl alcohol and the carbon dioxide. After that aging process, the aging period from the 1 month to maximum 1 year. After the aging process, the wine is passed into the chilling. First, they are the chilled and then passed into the filtration process. This chilling, filtration, and other all processing steps are carried out under the pressure, in which water the carbon dioxide is present. It is compulsory required to retain in the final product. In the filtration process, the sediment particles are removed. That is the dead yeast cells, and the other sediment particles. These are the removed by the filtration process, and after that, they are passed into the dosing tank, in which final prepared wine is added as per our final requirement. Addition of the sugar syrup to standardize the wine, and also standardize with respect to the alcohol content, and finally they are packed into the bottles. These are the references used for the preparation of this PowerPoint presentation. In this video discussion, you learn the sparkling wine production process, in which the traditional and the recent method production, and what are the basic terms involving in this sparkling wine. Thank you very much.